What's up, y'all? You remember when I went to go record this song? Um, it's gonna be epic, okay? The song is epic, and I'm gonna be focusing on. Sorry, y'all. I'm gonna be focusing on. Let me get that. Let me get myself together. I'm gonna be focusing on domestic violence, you guys. Domestic violence. So I know this is. I'm not trying to be disrespectful because I know this is breast cancer. Hey, Mimi. I know this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So understand, I am not trying to. I'm not trying to do too much. Okay, but because domestic violence is something very deep and serious, very deep and serious, I don't want it to be. I don't want it to be. Well, we can't forget it. But anyway, we can't forget it. What's up, Mimi? So last time I was on the road when I was going to the studio, about an hour and a half away, I had my brother in there in the car, my son's godfather. Okay, called Yahuda. I hope I said it right. Israel. But we call him. I'm sorry, I can't see y'all. We call him. Hey, luscious lady. We call him Minister Man. So I'm hoping, because the reason why when we ride together, he's always dropping the knowledge. What's up, Arnetta? What's up, Heart? What's up, Boom Boom? I mean, Lady Coco. He's always dropping for real knowledge. Okay. Um, so I don't know if it's going to be, if he's going to, we're going to see if we can get him in here because I do have a question today. And I love asking him questions because I like to see where it's going to come from and all of that. Yeah, I do like to know where it's going to come from and all of that. So I do have questions. So let me see. Let me see if I can get him in this thing. Let me see if I can get him in this live, y'all. Yes, because he is no joke. And last time he was on here, y'all had so many questions for him. I was like, woo. Let me see. Hold on, let me see. Oh. I don't know. Let me see. Is he in here? Anyway, what's up, Marilyn? Hey, Maya McKinney. Dang. High school. What's up, Cecil? Yes. So he will be on here because I have a question. And this is a question that I don't tell him what my question is gonna be, okay? I never tell him, Doris, what my question is going to be. What I do, he comes on, I said, well, I got a question. Can you tell me this, and that? And he comes with it, okay? He comes with it, okay? And sometimes the stuff convicts me and it makes me think about doing things differently. But he's the real deal, y'all. He is definitely the real deal. Now I'm trying to get him in here. Hold on. Let me see. How do I do this? How do I do this? Cause I mean, Zoom is okay, but it's just okay for me, y'all. It's just okay for me. Anyway, how is everybody's Sunday going? See, I done spelled it wrong already. That's why I can't get him in here. Hold on. Ooh-wee. Let me see. There we go. Let me send him an invite. Okay, I sent him an invite. Oh, there he is. There he is. Hey, I'm going to need you to come on in here. Okay. Oh, he's going to be here, y'all. He's going to be in here. If I get him on, it was meant to happen. What's up, David?
You like you like?
How you doing?
Is that it? Is that
Yes.
it? Did I make it in?
You made it in.
You gotta be kidding me.
Okay, can you turn your volume up?
Yeah.
What's up, Mark?
Can
Tyrone.
you hear me better?
That's
You hear
a
me
little
better or no?
Can y'all hear him? I just want to know, can y'all hear him?
Y'all hear me?
Can y'all hear him? I know you can hear me.
But can you hear me?
I can hear you. Am I echoing? I need my family and friends to tell me, am I echoing?
You're not echoing on my screen.
Okay. Oh, somebody say, get ready for some truth, y'all. Okay, so this is my brother, y'all. This is my son's godfather, minister, man. And you know, every time we going somewhere, I have to ask him the questions. Okay. So what I want to know, and I know you're gonna tell me. I listen to a lot of my friends that are in Louisiana and all over the place, okay? And oh, I'm echoing?
Not to me.
Oh, they said I'm echoing. So we gonna cut this out.
I don't know why you are, but not to me.
All right, can y'all hear me? Am I echoing? I don't need no echoing because I can hear me now. Okay. Dee, if you got your headphones on, if you got an iPhone, you're gonna have to put headphones on. Derrick.
You talking about me?
Yeah.
Put on some headphones? You want me to put on some headphones?
Yeah, because you echoing. I'm echoing because you.
I'm echoing.
Yeah, I'm echoing because you're on some kind of. I don't know what you're on.
I'm on a regular device at this point.
Is it an iPhone?
Put on some headphones. No, I can get a.
No. I'm not asking you to get off.
The iPad to get in.
I'm not asking.
I tried my phone.
I know I am, but I know I'm echoing, but it's because.
Okay, so let me get some headsets.
Get some headphones. Because that's crazy. Let me see. Okay, hello? Yeah, I'm echoing. No. We gonna fix it, y'all. We gonna fix it. We definitely gonna fix it. I don't know why I'm echoing. He just needs to get some headphones, and then we'll see if that's the problem. Because usually it's because they got an iPhone.
Okay, how's that?
Hello. That's a.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Now that's what we talking about. Yeah. Okay. So listen, let's get to this. I have a lot of friends back south. My daddy, of course, and brothers. And I want to know, they have been getting, I mean, every year, Mandy, every year, they are like beat down by hurricanes over and over and over again. And you can't have a lot of people migrating going, oh, no, sorry. Can't have a lot of people migrating going to the West Coast. So I want to know, why is that? Why? I mean, these people lose everything all the time. They have to restart their lives over. Why? I know. Okay, so y'all, I don't tell them what I'm going to ask them. Okay, I just come at them because I need to know why, how, when you lose everything, how and why over and over. I mean, why? Why?
Because like See, I don't want to just give a generic answer, but
You can't give a
um,
generic answer. Thank
okay,
you,
let
Capone.
me give you this. Let me do this.
I just want to know why. I mean, they lose everything. I mean, like we may get an earthquake, and if it's horrible, we lose everything. We got the fires. Those people up there lose everything. People just can't move. But the people, and I don't know how the fires are started up there yet. They always got different reasons, but for the people back south, they like go through it. My daddy didn't have no power yesterday, but yet they still get
Look
up.
at this.
They still get up and go to church on Sunday.
But look at this. Look at this. Right. We look at Romans. Right. Romans 8:20, and it says, right, for the creation was subjected to frustration. Right. The creation is frustrated. Right. Not by its own choice, but by the will of the one who subjected it, which is the Most High. Right. In hope that the creation itself will be liberated from its bondage to decay and brought into the freedom and glory of the children of the Most High, right? 22nd verse. We know that the whole creation has been groaning and is in pain of childbirth right up to the present time. Not only so, but we ourselves who have the first fruits of the Spirit groan inwardly as we wait eagerly for our adoption to sonship, the redemption of our bodies. For in this hope we are saved. But hope that is seen is not hope at all. Who hopes for what they have already? So in other
Yeah,
words,
in other words,
um, like when sin came upon us, when sin came upon us, that disrupted everything. Everything is affected by sin. And as long as we're operating in this sinful nature, which for right now, this is what it is. That's why I say that the creation is frustrated. Tornadoes and storms and fires and famine and pestilence. It's wide open right now, and especially now, it's worse than ever before. There's certain judgments that's happening right now. It's like full circle. The Bible taught us about um, how there will be a beginning of sorrows. There will be the releasing of the seals and revelations. There would be famines and just all kind of destruction. The beginning of sorrows. Now, prior to that, the creation was already still frustrated. The results of sin still was always present, but now it's reaping a climax because the level of sin is at a climax. It's at an all-time high where people don't do what the Most High say, and it's normal. It's normal. It was a time where being wrong and walking in darkness and walking in sin, people would look at you like, "What are you doing?" If people do like the things we doing now, we take it as we've been liberated or we're wiser or we're smarter. That was the olden days. That was the old school. That's our attitude. But actually, sin has climaxed to the point that that's what's happening. The world is being shaken up right now. Everything is chaotic. Is real ugly
but
right
it's
now
some really good
because
people. It's some really good people. Not everybody is a horrible person or deserve to lose everything all the time. They have to start all over from scratch again. How do you continue to start all over from scratch and then keep your hope?
um you through a personal relationship with the Most High, because from a natural standpoint, you got through a relationship with Him. I'm talking about a true one. I'm not talking about just going to church and you still do you. The end result is forging a true relationship with Him that you personally, as an individual, has repented from all sin and you're following Him. So now, when you do something wrong, it's actually a mistake and not a lifestyle. And when you do that, He dispatches angel protection about you, keep you safe. He'll even use you in hard times. He'll keep you with a certain attitude, like say if every year you lose something based on the groaning of the planet, right? The creation is groaning and tripping, but you good because you have a personal relationship with him, and he'll keep you through it. So the thing, you won't respond like the average person would, whose hope is this earth. You got
Right.
people that live for this place and they
Mm-hmm.
all in. And if they lose something, it really destroys them. It messed them up. But you got some people who's looking for a place whose builder and maker is the most high. And they
Mm-hmm.
just pilgrims passing through and they not taking it like that. And in that process, he'll keep you. In that process, he'll still encourage you. In that process, the storm can hit and tear up everybody's house but yours.
Hmm.
You know.
Wow. That's just, I mean, when I see it, I'll be like, wow, how do they just go through that I'm trying to get my daddy to move. I'm like, you need to
No, I
move,
understand that.
you know,
I'd move.
but you know,
Right.
okay, so I saw this I listened to a lot of stuff with the celebrities. And you know, T-Pain, that's my guy. That's my guy. T-Pain is my guy. You probably don't know T-Pain, huh?
I know who he is, but no, I'm not a fan of his music and none of that. Nah, But
Well,
I know what it is.
okay. This lady came on and she was crying. She was crying she was just breaking down. She couldn't control herself. And I didn't understand. So I'm like, well, you know, I'm not gonna sit here and listen to somebody come on here. You know, you got the celebrities that you roll with. So I said, I'm not gonna come on here and listen to this woman keep defaming. I don't want to hear her defame T-Pain because I love T-Pain. Everybody know T-Pain married his high school sweetheart, childhood sweetheart, or whatever. But she came on to say that T-Pain, uh, that she was broken because T-Pain was with her and she would never tell him. And wait, she got pregnant. She got pregnant, told T-Pain that she was pregnant, and he was like, well, man, I can't really afford that right now. So he convinced her. He told her to get drunk. So allegedly she got drunk and was told her that she needed to go on and have an abortion because he didn't want no kids, you know, by her. But she didn't really understand. She said that she would have known. She knew that he was married, but he said that he was in an open relationship. And if she would have known that she felt like open meant that it was going to be her and her. But when she got pregnant, the story changed, Dee. So this woman sits online crying because she missed the child that was inside her womb, okay? And she's playing messages, video messages saying, "Oh, he's saying I love you, boo. You know I love you, whatever." So she is I guess a ex stripper as well. You know that's what T-Pain like. That's what he married. I guess he may have married one. I don't know, but I know they were friends for a long time. But she said after she had the abortion, T-Pain disappeared. But then she said she want to give the woman an apology. So when I look at stuff like that, when you do stuff like that and you mess with someone that, I mean, I I guess the person interviewer was trying to give her some kind of encouragement. There's no really encouragement for that, correct? Because
Not,
open,
not, there's encouragement for her. There's encouragement for all of us. She's completely wrong. Okay, she's completely wrong. T Pain is completely wrong, and if his wife is down for open marriage, she wrong too.
mm,
That is perversion, and it ended up in the death of an innocent child.
mm,
And so and then with her reminiscing and crying publicly and all that old fun stuff, and now want to apologize to the wife because she can't hear from T Pain. That sounds like some more mess she
that's
got up her sleeve.
Steven say
She,
she
she,
missed the child. She missed the child or the man in the fame. Which one?
I'm sure to kill the baby is haunting, and it can be something that haunts you for the rest of your life. And so I'm pretty sure, without question, she missed a child. And then, especially if she still want him, because that was the link of her still having him for the rest of her life, or the child's life. And so, I'm pretty sure she missed a child. I'm pretty sure she missed the fame, the name, and everything. But she never should have been involved in a marriage in the first place, with or without an invitation. That was the invitation you're supposed to reject.
So do you feel like strippers, Dee Dee, how could you say that being a woman yourself? I don't know what your question is, LaFonda. I don't, what did I say? Did I say something out of line? What did I say?
I didn't hear it, but I guess she'll say it because I
Yeah,
don't know.
I don't know what she's talking about. What I'm asking is,
Hopefully she'll tell you.
yeah, hopefully, because I don't know. What did I say? I want to know if this young lady came. I mean, I'm. Oh, maybe LaFonda was asking me, am I approving it? Is that okay? That's not what I'm saying. I really want to know, what would a minister have to say to this young lady? Do you feel that being a stripper? What do you feel about that? As far as a stripper, that's a profession.
Yeah, it's a profession that the Most High doesn't approve of. And that goes back to when we initially start talking. We start talking about the state of the creation. The creation is in turmoil because people are in turmoil. If you look at it, we're falling further and further away from the biblical principle. 100%. Everybody do what they want to do. The Most High don't want us run around here twerking and popping and dropping stuff like it's hot, and spinning around, taking our clothes off, and perpetrating lust. One way of satanic worship, is fornication, lewd sexual perversion.
Mm.
That's where we're at. I don't know if you ever seen that Baphomet, right? But Baphomet is a statue, the goat head statue, and it has a phallus, like a man's private part, but it also has breast, and it indicates like that unisex type of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that is their mascot. That is the mascot for the Luciferian movement and the Luciferian church. And so from a spiritual standpoint, and the further we get away from the Most High, the more it's susceptible to be lewd and perverted and sleep around and mix it up in orgies and all that, not knowing that those are satanic rituals. People don't know that. And so, strippers, if a person is perverted and want to just treat women like they, sex objects, and not the daughters of the Creator, that's not a good profession. I don't, that is sin. The Most High don't like it.
But it's a
It's
job,
wrong.
though. They made it a job. You can get
I
insurance. You can
know.
get health insurance. So
Hmm.
isn't doesn't there come a time where, like, they have the Old Testament and the New Testament? Um, they have the Old Testament, the New Testament, for because I hear people say the Old Testament's for then, the New Testament's for this time, but now they need another book for another time. This is a new time than the New Testament. House open marriage wrong.
Yeah.
It was it was okay to have, what is the concubines in the Bible? Oh, that's a good question.
Okay. So, let me answer what you were saying, then we can go back to that. But like, of course, it being an occupation doesn't justify it.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that are wrong that make money,
Okay.
and people are more into pleasing themselves than pleasing the Most High. If you understand the Old Testament, really the Old Testament is fulfilled in the New Testament. The difference in the Testament, what makes one old and one new, is the commandments is written on stone, and in the new is the same commandments written on the tables of your heart. It went from an Old Testament of physical rituals to a spiritual relationship that kind of like concludes the same way. To be honest,
Hmm.
it's like graduating from religion to relationship.
Right.
You don't want to have a husband, and you got commandments of what he got to do written on the front door or in the living room framed, and he got to remember to do this and do this and do this, and don't do that and don't do that and don't do that, in the way of 10 commandments. But if he mess around and fall in love like he should, everything on there, he gonna do it naturally from his heart. And so that's the difference between the old and the new. And the new is still being fulfilled. And it talks about, it's concluding with the perversion we facing now. We're in a fallen away state. And in the state we're in, not only is there famines and storms, but there's also the collapse of economies, and people are being locked in their homes, and
Yes.
people wearing masks, and there's this preparation of a perpetration of a virus that's supposed to be so deadly that's across the whole entire world, and eventually soon everybody, whether you want to or not, are going to have to be vaccinated, and then in California, for example, they shut down the churches, and there's churches being fined for assembling anyway, all the way down to they're getting fined if they sing. Did you know it's illegal to have Bible study in your home and to sing together in California churches to
Uh-uh.
sing? Yeah, look it up. I follow that type stuff. So there's this church that got up to what, something like 120,000 dollars worth of fines
Wow.
was acquired from assembling indoors and singing and singing. And so they finally yielded like last Sunday. They said, they're going outside. They folded. They said we'll worship outside, but they still got to pay for the times they were inside, and also they got to
Wow.
pay, for singing.
Well, let's get
So,
back to Stephen's question
okay, go for it.
about the
His
concubines.
was
It
again.
says that concubines, open marriage is okay because in the Bible they had concubines.
Um, if you're up under that persuasion, you got more of a you got an Old Testament theological position, then you got a New Testament theological position, right?
Mm-hmm.
We would have to get into in Jeremiah 31 through 34, it says that he would enter into a new a covenant with the house of Israel, right? And that the commandments will be written on the tables of their heart, right? And
Mm-hmm.
in that, there's supposedly like some type of um, changes, for the lack of a better term, somewhat of, modifications, again, for the lack of a better term, and that's a study in and of itself. So, like, if they're believers, say they claim to be Hebrews, and they follow Torah, okay, they're
Mm-hmm.
not just perverted, like, perverted nations that don't follow the Most High, and they're just lewd and perverted, and they're just horny, and they just do what the heck they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds more like what we're talking about.
Okay.
I don't see T-Pain and his wife, quoting scriptures and running around here, keeping the Shabbat and being Hebrews and trying to exercise their right scripturally to have concubines. Because then if that's the case, abortion wouldn't be in the equation. And so my vote still remains that, since that's not the case, and it sounds like some Gentile nation type of perversion, you
Hmm.
know, uh,
Explain that Gentile
lewdness,
nation.
Gentile nations, in the way that I just used it, means, when the Most High entered into a covenant agreement with humanity, he did it with Abraham's seed, his
Mm-hmm.
bloodline, period. The Old Testament, the Old Testament, aka Torah, was written
Mm-hmm.
to Abraham's seed, period. Gentile
Mm-hmm.
nations other than Israel could join, right? They could join, but the covenant is really with Israel. And if you were a believer and wanted to follow the Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you could do that. Well, so a Gentile nation, the way I just used it, is other than is other than being the bloodline people. And so, like there's a certain people that was shipped into slavery, and ironically, there's a scripture in Deuteronomy 28 and 68 said, if you sinned against me, but he was talking to Israel, He said, if you sin against me, I'm going to make you the tail and not the head. You're going to be the lowest people on planet Earth, and you're going to get shipped into slavery. And you're going to be in heathen nations, and you're going to be amongst the people that don't have no regard for you, don't have no regard for women or men, don't have no regard for young and old, and they'll slaughter
Mm.
you and kill you and imprison you and hang you and
Right.
rob you and rape you and beat you. And so, so Gentile nations would be where we are now. Those people that got shipped into slavery, ripped of their identity, and their relationship with the Most High has been a little Catholicized, changed. And so, we're trying to find ourselves and kind of recover, but we definitely need his help to do so. So
So
that's
what
Gentile
about
nations.
when I see people um speaking in tongues, um they say that if somebody speaks in tongues, there should be someone there to interpret it. So when I see people speaking in tongues, um, does that mean for that instant somebody should be there interpreting it? Or does that mean someone should, like, when should they be there interpreting it? I mean, because I see hear
Okay.
people speaking in tongues, and I want to know, is there is there any truth in it? What I'm asking. I mean, not asking, but what
There's
the
complete truth in what they say. You're talking about Corinthians, the 14th chapter. And see, tongues, like when you deal with tongues, you start off in Acts 2 on the Feast of Weeks, right?
Mhm.
Or AKA also known as Pentecost, right? And you had folks from all over, right? Y'all get to say hi to my son. But
Hey
anyway,
D.
um, you had Hebrews from all over the world there coming in, for the feast, right? And then you had these Galilean men that had the task of spreading the Bessaré, the gospel, right?
Mhm.
Well, they don't speak all those languages, so the Spirit of the Most High fell on them, enabling them to speak in all those earthly languages
Right.
to spread the gospel. So then if we fast forward then to Corinthians the 12th chapter, it lets you know that the Most High gives from His Spirit abilities so that we can work together in the body to
Mhm.
spread the gospel and to encourage one another, right? So then you
Mhm.
go to 13th chapter of Corinthians, and then you get into, but these gifts work by the Spirit of love,
Mhm.
and it ended up saying, I'll show you a more excellent way, which is these gifts are to edify the body. So then
Right.
when you get into the 14th chapter, what you're talking about, you're dealing with the more excellent way then becomes, he said, I would that you prophesy. Prophesy in this instance mean that I'm going to speak to you in a language you can understand
Right.
the things of the Most High so you can be saved, so you can repent and save your soul. So I'm speaking to you in English because we speak English. If I
Okay.
were to be dealing with someone that don't speak English, then the gift of tongues, which actually mean languages, foreign languages, I would then, if the Most High stepped in, would give me the ability to speak in that language, the things of the Most High. So when you look at the 14th chapter, he actually was criticizing those that speak in tongue in the assembly because can't nobody understand. Well, he said if I spoke to you, 5,000 words in an unknown language, what did it profit you? I'd
Mm.
rather speak to you in a language that you understand. And
Okay.
so then I'm concluding on what you just said. Then the scripture then goes on to say, well then, if you're going to speak in tongues, take turns. So because he's not the author of confusion, if you're going to speak in tongues, take turns, and make sure that there's somebody in there that the interpreter would be the one that can understand what you're saying. Now that is because they don't speak that language, and the Most High blessed you to be able to speak to them the things of the Most High in their language, or through a spiritual power, someone
Mhm.
can interpret what you're saying so that the whole congregation can be edified. You
Well,
follow me?
I definitely follow you, and I gotta say that when I'm in church and I hear people speaking tongues, I'm looking. I ain't giving the side eye, but I'm looking because there's nobody. I don't see nobody in there interpreting it, and sometimes it's a lot of people speaking tongues at the same time, and I still don't know what they're saying when they're speaking tongues.
They shouldn't be doing it. You're 100% right, and you're on top of it. And see, me personally, I can't get with that. I'm not. I am not with confusion. I want to be saved. I want to have a relationship with the Most High. I really want to know Him, and I want to be transformed into what He want me to be. And I need to, and in all my getting, get understanding. The word said, in all your getting, get understanding. I want to understand what's going on. So if I'm in a place to do that, I probably wouldn't be there too long.
Well, wouldn't the pastor come? Isn't he supposed to be the leader of the flock and supposed to say, "Hey, when do you stop and say, "Hey, we're not going to speak any tongues"? There, when do we
You do it
stop?
immediately. If you're a good pastor, if you're a pastor that's led by the Most High, you do what the Word say. You shouldn't sit there more than one service and somebody doing it and it is not corrected. It shouldn't be
Okay.
happening. And if the man of the house allow it to happen, you read that scripture say the blind lead the blind, they both fall in the ditch.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not falling in with you. I'll be snatching my name off the roll, effective immediately until you learn what the word really say.
Okay.
Preacher.
Okay. Well, okay. Let me see. You know, I'll be having these questions, and I'm so glad you're here, Minister Man. I'm glad I got you on speed now. Let
Yes,
me
sir.
ask you
I
this.
mean, ma'am.
Let me ask you this. When, okay, so why do I know you people ask this question all the time? Why do, and these are not questions that I just gave you, right? I didn't give you none of these questions. So you could just,
No, you just shooting
I'm
from the
sure.
hip.
Why do people get away with doing bad things, dirty things, and it seems like they're prospering? Why are they able to get away with bad things? Why, how long, when we always say karma will take care of it, how long do we have to wait for? Well, no, we don't say that. We say God will take care of it. How long do we have to wait for God to take care of it? I mean, okay, that you know what I'm trying to say, right?
You 100%. See, because we're pilgrims passing through, and because like you look at those in the Old Testament, they live almost to 1,000 years old, and as time go on,
Mm-hmm.
our days is getting shorter and shorter, proving that the toll of sin is taking its toll, right? And so our lifespan is getting shorter and shorter, and we're housed in a temporary body, and we're just passing through. We're housed in a temporary body and we're still passing through. So with
Mm-hmm.
that being said, like I could live my whole life and not see the victory here because I'm here for the appointed time to do a appointed thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the word says many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Most High delivered them out of them all, right? And sometimes we're afflicted and done wrong by wicked people, which we're undergoing that now. You got a demographic of people that's been shipped into slavery and been last class. You got predatory lending practices. The middle class was created by these particular ruler class that let white people they gave them loans that black people couldn't get, and that happened about 40 years
Mm-hmm.
of them getting loans and buying property, and it created a middle class, and then you got this last class people that's targeted, and then it's a peace officer in certain neighborhood, and it's definitely the police officer break a brother's neck, in other neighborhood, and so it appears like wickedness prevail, but
Right.
no, the Bible says that our life is like a vapor of smoke which appears for a moment and vanish away. You cannot get carnal and just be stuck here. You just passing through. And in Revelation, talking about how the books will be open on Judgment Day. And what will be open is the
Whoa,
secret, the
whoa, whoa,
Bible.
whoa, 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 whoa. The books will be open. What the book's gonna say?
the seat for the Bible will be open, and then the book of your life, what you did and how you lived, will be open.
For who to
And then it's
see?
going to be a comparison analysis.
For who to see?
And then you're going to get judged. Everybody. So to get away with it, you see, like it seemed like bad people are prospering. They better have a good time here because it's going to be all bad moving forward. And those that seem like they suffered here, you ever read in Luke, I believe it's the 16th chapter with the beggar and the rich man, which is a perfect illustration of what we're talking about, because there's a rich man that wore purple, and that meant royalty or rich, and he was eating, well, and then you had this beggar that begged at his gate. He wouldn't even feed the man. If the rich man had, Kaiser plan, the beggar, had dogs licking his sores. There's little medicine in their saliva, and that was his medical plan. But the word went on to say when the beggar died, he ended up in Abraham's bosom, where people that died in faith waiting on the Mashiach to come. And he was there in Abraham's bosom, but the rich man died and he was being tormented. And that was the consequences of it looks like like the evil people are prospering and winning. No, they twerking and popping bottles now. They swinging on poles and doing what they want to do now, but it's temporary. It's all coming to a head.
So whoa.
Just like I was telling you.
So wait, what you're
Just
saying?
like okay, go ahead.
What you're saying is, now let's get back to the book. Hold on. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind God bringing me into a room and open up my book, me and him. So you're saying that he's going to open up my book for everybody to see?
It doesn't really necessarily disclose like what the courtroom settings is going to look like,
Lord have mercy.
but a part of punishment is a healthy level of humiliation. Like when you put yourself in a situation where we willingly choose evil, like again, in St. John's, or Yakanan for the Hebrew, but St. John's 3:16, right? It says, for Yah so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. Mm-hmm. Look what it said. It said, he sent not his son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. So look, we toe up from the flow up. We're sinners, we out of pocket. We deserve death, but he didn't send his son to execute judgment. He sent his son to execute mercy, giving the believer the opportunity to repent. When we don't do that, he's the consuming fire. He's way worse than the devil on the devil's worst day. There's another side of him. He's also love, but he's also the judge. And on judgment day, he's gonna be the judge. And it's not gonna be good for us that willingly ignored his call to him, to righteousness.
I know.
So, yeah, it's gonna be humiliation and pain and exile and darkness and screaming and anything else bad you can think of.
Well, I'm gonna ask for whatever's about me to be in private.
You gonna request a private session? No, Dee Dee, no, you ain't gonna mind it being public, because we all gonna grab him. And I'm gonna tell you, and just from a theological position from my studies, right? If you look at us, if you know it's us or not, because everyone don't. Some people think they're Gentiles, but they're really the people of the book. But if you look at us, when we were in Egypt, right?
Yes.
You had 72 souls that went into Egypt, and then they flourished and they multiplied, and the Egyptians were treating them well.
Right.
Well, there was a particular Pharaoh, a leader that came along that didn't honor Joseph, didn't care nothing about Joseph or the Hebrews. In fact, he felt like we need to do something to these people because they're starting to outnumber us.
Right.
And so we're gonna turn on them and dog them out. The Most High allowed that to happen because they thought they were Egyptians. And Egyptians had pantheon gods. They had 10 pantheon gods, and the last was the pharaohs, or the firstborn, right? Mm-hmm. Which, anyway, they had gods, right? And what the Most High did in the 10 plagues was attack each god, and the last one was the firstborn son of every family, right? And killed them, including the animals. But my point being, the pressure came. The pressure came aimed at the Hebrews because the Most High was going to introduce himself to them and giving them the opportunity to repent because he didn't want to destroy his children.
Okay.
And it led to them crying out. The pressure was so bad they cried out. Well, we're in a situation right now where the powers to be is able to lock us up in our houses, force us to wear masks in the name of helping us. Suicide is through the roof. They ain't telling you about that. They're not telling you about the mental health of folk. And then who's earmarked for the vaccine that they come with, that it hasn't even been, there's not even enough time for it to even be tested and proven. It takes years and years for all that stuff to come to fruition, which is a whole nother conversation I'm really not going to get in because I'm not going to tell you what I really feel about it.
Don't,
I'm just going to keep
don't.
it politically correct enough to say that,
Well,
right?
let me
So I'm going to
go.
say this.
Okay.
I'm going to say this. There's a certain demographic of people that's earmarked. The African American, Bill and Melinda said, the African American is earmarked for the vaccine and the essential workers first. First and foremost, you can close my door. First and foremost. Okay? And so that's not good. Why am I first? Get you a guinea pig. They started trying to pass it out in Africa first, where the melanated people is, where there's some more tribes of Israel there. So pressure, Dee Dee. Listen, you're gonna make it one. I personally believe because you're a believer, and even if you're not doing exactly what you think you should be doing, obviously you might agree because you're saying you want a private session on Judgment Day, right? But anyway, that's
I
what
need
you
a
said.
private session.
So with that being said, you ain't gonna mind it being public because it's gonna be good news because the pressure is here. We're being de-Americanized right now. We're finding out that they did mean it when they said we was 3/5 of a human being. They meant it. They meant it when we don't have no rights. They can kill us on tape now. They can kill us on national TV. And the man that kneeled on George Floyd is at home right now with his family kicking it. So they're sending a powerful man. A girl can't even sleep in her bed. Hit the wrong house. Hit the wrong house. He did a warning shot in the floor. They came in and killed her and then left. After they shot the girl, they left. They didn't even call the ambulance. They left her to die. They don't tell you that. And so, the pressure, and it ain't even where it's supposed to be. The pressure is finna get real ugly for certain demographic of people like you never would believe.
Well, let
And we're
me
going to be
ask you
crying out
this.
to the Most High real soon.
Let me ask you this. Now,
Sure.
there's 7 seals, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And people are always saying that the seals, that everything has started in the seals. Has everything started in the seals?
No, they're being released now.
They're being
The
released now.
seals, how I see it, the seals are being crashed yet.
Say it one more time. I'm sorry.
Because when the economy crashed, you don't know what it's like to have the economy crash to the level that a whole state can't pay their PG&E. Not a house, not a city, but California don't have no lights. Period. No
Right.
electricity. You don't know what it is to they have a way of giving us hints through movies, right? They got movies like Purge, and they even have the movies about the coronavirus. This
Right.
virus leak, and they got
Outbreak.
movies. They enjoy showing you.
So
What,
you think
go ahead.
so the seals have not begun, like everybody say?
No, they have.
They have.
We feeling it now.
Really?
Oh yeah, don't you? I do.
Okay.
I didn't like being locked up in my house. I ain't never been to jail. I'm not a jail dude. What I'm locked up for? What was that all about? The numbers of deaths didn't even to justify that, but that's again a whole nother conversation. And then if you justify it and say that it's real, that's a punishment. Those are seals, viruses and famine, people losing their job. Did you know people lost their business they've been working all their life,
Yeah, I
inheritances
do.
and money.
I
They
do.
lost them seals, young lady, them seals being broken. We're seeing things we never seen before because seals is being broken.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. When I look at the Bible, I always see how they make it the woman that's the issue to me. And now listen, correct me. Oh, Rashid said we are in the judgment now, but the end is not yet. What I want to know with Samson and Delilah, of course, with Adam and Eve. Who else? Who else? Who else? What was
Job and his wife.
right? It's
So many.
always the woman. Oh, hey, is it my phone or are they cutting in and out? That was probably me at that moment. I hit the wrong button. It's always the women. They always say that behind every strong man there is a strong woman, but it doesn't seem like they make us that. They make us that sometimes in the Bible. Like we are tricksters, we are connivers, and I know a lot of good women out here that ain't tricksters and connivers. You know what I'm saying? Uh, so was it? I want to know. Was it Eve's fault?
Was it Eve's fault?
Yeah, that's what I want. I mean, I was like, are you
Well,
froze?
see, let's give you notice. I would let the Most High be the judge of that, right? So whoever was at fault, he punished. And I recollect in scriptures in Genesis the third chapter, I believe he punished all three of them. So what was it? Was it the snake's fault? Of course it was. He was the devil. What was it? Eve's fault? Of course it was. She shouldn't even been talking with him in the first place. To bite. And was it Adam's fault? He never should have listened to his wife. He should have been a husband and say, "Sweetheart, we're not doing that." And then after the fact, he should have went to the Most High on her behalf and said, "My wife is wrong, but I didn't do it. Feel me? I love my wife," and he should have went into restoration mode. But he was so in love with his wife that he didn't want to lose her. Eve was so naive for talking to the snake in the first place, and then she got hit with the lust of the eye, the lust of the flesh, and the pride of life. When he said she saw that with her eye that it was a food desired to be eaten, she saw that it was something that could make her wise, the pride of life, and the lust of the flesh, and the pride of life, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eye, the lust of the flesh, and the pride of life. She got hit with all three of them and she failed.
Well,
She did something she wasn't supposed to do, so she was wrong.
oh,
So all three of them was wrong.
well, Rashid said Adam was given the command, not Eve.
She still was wrong. The question wasn't who was the command given to. The command was given. She wasn't supposed to do that, and she knew it. When the snake asked her what she supposed to do, it she said no. So that speaks within itself. Even though he's right when he say the command was given to Adam, but if she wasn't wrong, then the Most High wouldn't have punished
Well,
her.
okay, so okay, okay, but when you say pride of life, break that down.
Pride of life is when you esteem yourself and deify yourself over the Most High. The Most High has the last say so. We're living in a time where people esteem themselves. They're caught up in pride. They do what they want to do. They don't do what he say do. They're not submissive and humble to him. That's why in 2 Chronicles 7:14, right, it says, if my people, which are called by my name, will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven, I forget their sins and I hear their land. Right? We got to learn how to humble ourselves. It's humbling. It's humble for me not to cuss if I felt like it. It's humble for me to walk away from a sexy female if she down and she's my cup of tea. It's humbling to somebody to disrespect me and I got a faux piece that's cold and I can put it on them and I won't. It's humbling when you do what's right, when you feel like not when you do what's right, when you feel like doing what's wrong. It's humbling. And only those that love the Most High and respect him enough will humble themselves and escape the pride of life. It's all about me, self-preservation. I'm living my best life. No, I'm living my saved life. I'm living the holy life. I'm gonna do what he say, whether I like it or not.
But we were made from Adam. Okay, so we were made from Adam and from the rib. Okay, so why were we punished? Why were we punished and told that we're gonna have cramps and go through this monthly thing?
That's a part of it, right? You bear children in pain. Hold on 1 second, D. Okay, because I'm doing this right now. I did. I'll do it again. Yeah, I did. I sent you both his numbers. Call him and he get back to me. Blow him up until you get him. But yeah, what part of the curse, of course, was to bear children in pain. That was part of the thing. Goes back to proving that she was wrong.
But we
That's why
got
it
the
was like
brunt
that.
of it because we have to take that with us.
No, 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 no,
What?
no, no. All of us. No, you don't wanna. You don't wanna like put it this way. And I hear what you're saying, and it's my job. But I come from a premise to try to keep things like in complete truth. If you guys got the brunt of it, right, then that means the Most High was being partial, and He's no respecter of persons. He what He did was
Jacqueline,
fair. He got all three of them
Jacqueline said
equally.
Adam was wrong because Jehovah gave him commandment and he went against Jehovah and followed Eve. Jehovah found them hide in the garden with leaves over their body because there something was open, something was open to sin. Jehovah said, "What have you done?"
Correct. Um, the Most High told him he was wrong. The Most High told Eve she was wrong, and the Most High told the serpent he was wrong. So she's right when she say Adam was wrong. He received the commandment and he was wrong.
So what?
He wasn't the only one wrong.
But they make it seem to us like sometimes I hear people be facetious and make it seem like see, it was the woman, it was the woman. Even with Samson and Delilah, it was the woman, it was the woman, and I just can't believe. I mean, if men supposedly rule the world, how can a woman make them? Well, I know how, but that didn't make no sense.
I love your honesty. I love it.
I want to know, why are we the vessels that make the men do what they do? Why can't men just be evil and do what they do anyway?
Men are evil and they do what they want to do anyway, including do what the woman say.
Right, right.
Hey, nobody forced him to listen to her. He was evil and he wanted to do it.
Okay.
He didn't have to listen to her. Sometimes men listen to her and sometimes they don't. Even without her, he listening to another woman or another man or another situation. You feel me? You can't, you know?
I mean, I just want to hear once, like, I just want to hear once well, I don't know if we're going to get another book again, but if we had another book where it say that the man tricked the woman or the man did this, it's always the woman tricked him and cut his hair. He said, because she was so beautiful and every man's weakness is a woman. Okay, Rashid, I would go with that. I would go with that. Now, let me ask you this, because you know I love to ask these questions to you, Derrick. Now, let's talk about children. Let's talk about children. I want to know why and how does a family deal with children that committed suicide?
Ask that question again.
How do you deal? I don't know how to say it, but
How
I
does a
know it.
family recover from the pain
Well,
of their child committing
yeah,
suicide?
yeah, because I know a lady, um, and her daughter was recovering, and she said she was going to fly to Ohio. And she told her daughter she really didn't want her to fly to Ohio. She was like, "Mom, I'm doing better." She was like, "I'm doing better, Mom." She was like, she didn't want her to fly to Ohio, and she flew to Ohio with her friends, and she didn't come back. She didn't come.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she didn't come back. She uh you start using again and overdosed. And then when she went to go get, when she went to fly out to Ohio to get her daughter, I was like, well, have your daughter ever been to Ohio? She says, no, they were going out there for a party. And that's pretty much why she didn't want her to go. But she was telling her mom she had it together. So when her mother went, so her mother had to fly to get her. the young lady that was her friend that went with her, took all her clothes and gave her a suitcase with barely nothing in it on the way for her to take back. So I see her, and she's lost in the eyes. How do you bring someone back from that? That's lost when you how do you bring someone back from that? I mean,
You can't. The
what do
Most
you mean
High
you
has
can't?
to. The Most High has to.
Well, I don't mean
That's
me.
something.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So like we can as people. There's that is you can't even put that in words. Okay, that takes supernatural intervention. Um, the Bible speaks of Rachel crying for her children because they were not. Because Herod was, he put a decree out to kill all the little Hebrew babies between newborn and 2 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to kill the Messiah. And
Say that
so
again. Wait, because my phone rang. I don't know why my phone is ringing. So you say Rachel, go back. I didn't hear the Rachel part.
Rachel, was weeping for her children, meaning Israel. Israel was weeping for her children for the atrocities that Herod had done to the little Hebrew babies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even in slavery days, our babies was given for alligator bait. We was even put in zoos and things of that nature, right? We're a people that's acquainted with the loss of our children. We got children that harm each other up under the pressure. They took the fathers out of the houses, incarcerating them. Doing a war on them. They say it's a war on drugs, but they didn't do no war on opiates, and they strung out on opiates. They gave programs to heal them, but they made us public enemy number one when they flooded our neighborhoods with crack. But we're a people that's acquainted with losing our children on so many different levels that
I don't think that parents are acquainted with losing their children today.
you're not. And I agree with you, and you're blessed, and bless you. But I know I'm a watchman, a pastor, and I'm well acquainted, super duper acquainted with many sisters that need prayer, and we're a people, statistically, that have undergone, a lot of loss to the family, including our children.
So
It's
what do you
not
tell a family that their kid has committed suicide? Their minds haven't even
mm,
really developed because drugs have taken over them.
yeah. Uh, Me personally,
Yeah, where would they go in the Bible for that?
it see, it becomes not a scripture. It becomes life application of the Elohim of the scripture,
Mm-hmm.
because that's deep. That is you like the best array, the gospel, right? It's said to be the death, burial, and resurrection, right? So, and then if you look at Romans the 6th chapter, if we receive the Messiah, we're baptized into his death, and like as he was raised up by the glory of the Father, even so we should walk in the newness of life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So listen, if one gets saved, it's literally the divorcing of oneself in totality
Mm-hmm.
to rise up, being filled with his spirit to walk in the newness of life, giving us the power to become new. Because if any man be in the Messiah, he's a new creation. Old things have passed away. Behold, all things become new. A person that is hit with a certain level of trauma
Yes.
in this life, like their child
Yes.
committing suicide, it's a devastation that can alter the psyche. And the only rescue from a shattered spiritual state like that, I would have to be the death of that person, and it would have to be the spiritual death, not suicide as well.
Oh.
Is the spiritual death of your human nature. You would have to like the pain will be housed in the human nature, and through a supernatural operation, you would have to divorce that, be baptized into the death of the Messiah to rise up to walk in the newness of life. So it's way deeper than a scripture. Of course, I would come with scripture. I would come with prayer. I would come with a agape style, so-called agape, but a love without bounds, and be there for them to help them through those trying times. But what they really would need is the Most High. 100%. They would need the Most High desperately.
So how would they? Okay, so you say they'll need the Most High, but how would if they are already out of it? How do they get the Most High to come there? Because like some people say they hear His voice, and then some people be like, well, I don't hear His voice. So how would somebody that's not connected? It's got to be something.
It is. See, someone that's not connected can be opened up to become connected. And again, I'll borrow from what I told you earlier, like the trauma level, because
Right.
it isn't intimate on details when it comes to what the Hebrews was going through in Egypt. But might they have been losing their children? Might they have been being raped? Might they have been incarcerated and killed? The answer is yes. So there are levels of trauma that will hit your human experience that will cause you to have to detach from it and cry out, Abba, Father, help. And unfortunately, the times that we're facing now, we're headed in that direction. And so one of those being, specific is a child committing suicide. The 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 crushing blow
That's
that's
horrible.
administered to a parent, you can't even put it in words.
Because you feel like, what didn't you do? What could you have done? Because kids don't tell you their innermost everything. They just going through it. You don't know. Like I can't tell you. She couldn't tell me what was it that made her daughter start using drugs, but something made her use the drugs, and now she went over the limit and she's not here no more. Like a lot of some people's kids just do recreational drugs, and then they accidentally kill themselves by overdose. And I just like find it like, oh my God, I just don't even know what you would say to someone or how you would bring them back.
Yeah, it's supernatural. Me
It'll be a
in and of myself, I
supernatural.
couldn't do anything. Yeah, it takes a supernatural intervention.
Wow.
If when a person to lose a child, even if it's not suicide, that's abnormal. Normally, the parent would leave before the child, and for a parent to lose a child, I can't even pretend to even, I got a sister that ain't over it. I got a sister who lost her son, my nephew, and it's just nothing that you is just too deep,
So your life
and
is
so,
over as
but
you know it. So you'll never have no
oh
more
yeah,
happy
yeah, no,
times. No more happy
no,
times.
I couldn't say that. I couldn't say that you ain't gonna laugh if the joke is funny, and I can't say you ain't gonna lick your fingers if the potato salad is good.
Right.
But but I will say that there is a unseen scar with a lot of scar tissue
Ali,
that only the Most High can rescue you from.
Tip said this had taken me all the way in, bringing us before. I have a single. You can help me share it. That would be cool. I didn't get that. I didn't get that. Sorry, Tip. I think I got it.
She might have a single song that probably addresses some of the things we were talking
That
about. I'm
called You
not
Can
sure that
Help
part.
Me.
Yeah, you can help
Okay.
me, and it's like probably a rally cry for an anthem for help.
Suicide. So,
Yeah,
and Lisa
more than
said
likely.
that's exactly what happened to my niece and nephew. My sister would never be the same. 2 kids in 5 months.
Yeah,
Wow.
you just can't. the only rectification for certain blows, right, is the Most High. And to be honest with you, a jab, the antidote, the solution for a jab is the Most High, and the antidote for 45 haymakers is the Most High. And at the end of the day, some people don't even need to get jabbed. They just need to recognize they were told the gospel came to them, and they just bowed down. And then some people go through experience horrific things that cause them to bow down. Whatever in this temporary life that will cause us to turn towards the Most High and take Him serious, not becoming religious. We got enough of those. We got enough religious people that'll still go to bed with you and cuss you out and shoot at you and kick your dog. We got enough of those.
Okay.
There's something that has to happen that will cause His people to turn to Him with their whole heart. And what we're talking about are things that cause that.
So
that could cause.
So you would say for them to find to go see a pastor, or what would you say to do?
I would say fall on your knees before the Most High, and the Most High will send the pastor or the watchman, and you might even know them. There might be a family member, a friend. You might have been raised in church. You might have been raised,
Helga said.
around,
Helga
but
said.
you're looking for the Most High.
Helga said, I just had a friend that has a cousin that committed suicide. He hopped on the plane to Vegas, left his truck at the airport. Something, sent a text or something to his wife apologizing. And what'd she say? Went to something apologizing. Went to the gun range and shot himself. That's just crazy.
A lot of people are taking that route. They go to gun ranges, rent the gun to go shoot,
right,
and shoot themselves.
Wow. I just, I feel like I know there's got to be hope, but it's not really no words that you can kind of say. So,
correct.
And when people get angry and don't want to turn to God, you understand me? So I'll be like, well, what do you say then? Because you know what I go back to.
Those that don't want to turn to.
You know what I go back to. I go back to my same line where I say, I thought when you say God sees everything, so He knew that this was going to happen to me. So then I'm like, well, didn't God know this was going to happen? I go back to every time at the end of the day, I go back to, well, didn't God know this was going to happen? And then they say you not supposed to question God. They say that's a sin. But
that's not a sin. You have a relationship. He's our Father. He told you to come to the throne of grace with boldness, making your petitions known that you might obtain mercy and find grace to help in the time of need. He told you acknowledge Him in all your ways and He'll direct your path. You feel in any kind of way, you're supposed to be able to bring it to your Father. Bottom line, whoever told you that, that's just that religious talk. They don't know what they're talking about. But at the end of the day, know this, that the outcome, the expected end of our lives is to be reconciled with the Most High, whatever that looks like. We have to first. We have to come. If we get to the point to where we can admit that we're sinners and we're wrong, right? And what will hinder that is when we're religious. See, when you're religious and you go to church and you got this church little thing, that's your cover up. And then you mix in a little bit. We're all sinners. Ain't nobody perfect. That's the perfect formula for death, to cause one to walk in rebellion and do what they want to do and ignore Him. But the ultimate goal is for us to enter into a personal relationship with the Most High, a personal relationship, one-on-one, enhanced, nurtured, and watered by others, but it's still 100% one-on-one. And we've decided that we don't want to sin against Him and go against Him. And now we're seeking for Him. And He said, if you seek me, you'll find me. Yeah. He said, you're knocking to be open. Ask, you're going to receive. He said, draw nigh unto me, and I'll draw nigh unto you. And that's the ultimate goal. So for Him to know what's happening, If something bad, and we say, well, you knew this was gonna happen, the answer would be, of course I did.
Yeah.
That don't mean I caused it, but I definitely knew it was gonna happen. And you should conclude to apologize if you're sinning against me, and you should serve me because all I want to do is save you. I want to rescue you. I want to have a relationship with you. So,
So
yeah,
what do you say to people that don't believe in God?
not too much of nothing. What I'm gonna say,
I
look,
mean, that don't. I
hey,
mean,
he said, whosoever believeth and is baptized shall be saved. Of course, I was just like being direct, but of course, do I talk to people say they're atheists? Of course, but they know man didn't put the sun in the air, didn't put the moon up there,
okay,
didn't create. Come on, man. There's
it's
no
too
copyright man-made
complex.
water. Somebody made it and it wasn't us. And if there was a big bang, that's a cold big bang to create all this stuff out of a firecracker. Come on. And who lit the firecracker?
So my,
So, go ahead.
go ahead, finish.
So, the existence of the Most High, when people say they don't believe in Him,
Uh-huh.
9 times out of 10, what they're really saying is they don't want to obey Him. They'd rather ignore Him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They'd rather ignore
Mm-hmm.
Him.
So my last question to you is for um my family and friends that's on here right now, because I feel, what do I say? Hmm, how do I say? How do you? Well, I won't say that's my last question, but it's getting there.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm
That's what's
getting
up,
there,
D.
y'all. I'm getting there. My last question, because Derrick, I like that you're able to keep it 100 with me, and stuff like that. Um, but as people are climbing up the ladder, I call you because sometimes people see me like laughing and ha 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 ha, but I really want to take somebody's head off, or I really want to just drag somebody on social media, and because of all the stuff that's going on with all of us, people that are doing well, other people don't like it, people that when you're doing bad, you got the people cheering you on and all of that. As a minister, as a minister, how so someone asked me where first they asked me, where do you minister at?
I minister in East Oakland on 106 in Sunnyside on the Shabbat on Saturdays at 11:30. Other than that, I preach 8 times a week minimum, which is, on Facebook like we on now. My handle is Yahuda Israel, YAHUDAH, last name YISRAEL. I'm on Facebook. And also, I got a conference line, and the phone number is 302 202 1102, extension 815648. On those platforms, I'm on there Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, um, and then I'm on Monday and Wednesday at 7 p.m. on those very same
You on 8
platforms.
days a week?
And then 7 days a week, eight
Eight.
eight sermons. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then the last on Saturdays on the Shabbat at 11:30 on those same platforms. But I'm also in person in Oakland on 106 in Sunnyside. And so, yeah.
So let me ask you this, my last question. For women looking for a husband, women looking for a husband, um, that ain't like it used to be. For women,
Mm-mm.
for like it, let me tell you what I know what like it used to be. When men would get up and go on with their lunch pails and go on to work and come on back home. Now it's a, or maybe now it's a different, it's a new time. How do women, how do women, uh, looking for someone, looking for a man, of course, looking for a man. How do you accomplish that in this day and time with what the women have to pick from? Because sometimes it seems
Um,
like men are so shallow. They're looking for the Coke bottle shape, and they ain't even got a muscular shape. So I want to know. They say they're praying and they're waiting on God to send them the right person. Is that a true statement? Does God send you the
it
person?
could be. It could be. It depends on the individual, right? You got people that's praying and say they praying the Most High and waiting on the right person, and they really doing that. And then you got religious people that say they praying to the Most High, waiting on the right person, while they screwing the neighbor or screwing their partner cousin or their partner man. And so, I pray that they're sincere. At the end of the day, you look, if you want to raise a family,
Mm-hmm.
then you have to have someone that has saved themselves from this untoward generation.
Okay.
A man that's man enough to go against the grain and be who the Most High called him to be, regardless of what the masses is doing, right? You need someone that's not a player and a gigolo, that's running around screwing everybody,
Okay.
and so, but someone that love the Most High, which also in turn, we have the audacity to be looking for somebody good and we ain't good.
Mm.
Don't you you I can say so much,
Oh
but
my God.
at
What?
the end of the day, we look at this. In all fair, I got to talk fair. I can say I can preach this literally right now, but
Okay.
I'll say that be looking for what you is. You feel me? If you can't be looking for something good and you ain't. If you can't be swinging on a pole looking for a husband, you couldn't be, and he'd be crazy to take you off a pole and marry you. Get off the pole first. Get out of the bed first.
Right.
Get off the drugs first. Go run around here dressed like lay me down. Feel me? You get what be the perfect bait and you'll get the perfect
Be
catch.
the perfect bait. I like how
And
that
you'll get the
sounds.
perfect catch.
Okay.
Be the bait you want. You feel me? Yeah. There's certain bait to catch certain type of fish.
So you
So be that bait, and the right fish will come along.
so submission. Is that even a real word nowadays?
It's not popular, but it's necessary. We got to submit one to another. The Bible teaches, right? It's a mutual submit. I'm gonna tell you, like women need to be loved by their husband.
Yes.
Bottom, and I really mean that. They really need to be loved. But what men like is respect. A man has to be respected. If you
Okay.
don't respect a man, you ain't keeping him. It is not cool. Feel me? And so that's why the Bible says, for the woman to respect their husbands and told the husband to love their wives. And um, so submission is universal. We have to be submissive to truth, and we have to be submissive to one another, and we have to be submissive to one another's needs.
Okay.
I got to know what my wife need and want, and I got to be submissive enough to her to do it. And in turn, she has to do the same thing. You know, and that's really what it's all about. Submission, yes, it's a dinosaur nowadays.
Does it
If you're
work?
aware. Yeah, if you be the right bait and get the right catch, then yes, it works. None of this works with someone that don't submit to the Most High. If you led by your flesh, I'm gonna tell you, there's a lot of sexy, fine women in the flesh. There's a lot of opportunities that present themselves if you're in the flesh. There's a
Okay.
lot of times you get disrespected and want to respond in the flesh. There's a
Okay.
lot of drugs and liquor and all kind of things, a little thicker in the flesh.
Okay.
But when you're not led by your flesh and you live by what's right, right? A person go to school and get that degree. You did what was right in order to get that. You stayed up and studied when you didn't feel like it. You
Mm-hmm.
had enough wherewithal to go against your flesh to do what you believe was right to get the results you was expecting. Well, the same thing in the spirit. You know, we go against ourselves to do what's right. Be what you want, right? Submission works. If it works on you, you can't think submission works if you're not submissive. If you're not submissive, then out the what is submission? But if you're submissive, if you submit to the Most High, if you submit to His will for your life, then you understand the power of submission and the necessity of it. And we got to submit to each other. It's give and take. It's not one-sided. I got to submit too. I'm married.
So the
I
man
gotta
has to
submit to
submit.
my wife some now.
So the man has to submit.
100%.
Like-
not even halfway.
Like, give me an example.
There's a 100% necessity of submission to my wife. And there's also a 100% necessity from her to me.
So
And it's not 50-50. No such thing. I'm supposed to be in it 100%
I believe
and give my
that.
all, and she's supposed to be in it 100% and give her all. And
I
that's
don't
what makes
believe
it
in
work.
50-50. It should equal 200.
Correct.
Okay.
You and I are on the same page.
Yes. But
100%.
give me an example of how a man would be submissive.
Like knowing his wife, because again, to be honest with you, a woman really needs to be loved. If a woman believes you love her, you get anything from her.
Yeah.
If you prove your love, like, I don't want your friend, I don't want the Coke bottle across the street, I want you, my eyes is only for you, right? I am I work hard for you, I'll be there for you, I'm dependable, I'm submissive. I'm not henpecked. That women don't even like that, even though, see, I would get deeper in the Adam and Eve curses with the Most High did, but like a woman will conquer you if you let her, and she'll even pull on you some, even though she don't want to conquer you, because if she conquer you, she don't want you. She's gonna look for another man. You're a weenie. You're a weenie. I'm good. But back to my point.
Cool.
A man is a man. You're not gonna run me, but I'm definitely gonna love the heck out of you. Is the key. You're not gonna run me at all, but what I'm going to do is know your favorite color, your favorite scent, your favorite place. I'm gonna surprise you with this. I'm gonna sprinkle you with that. You'll be able to say, "Oh, you're so thoughtful. Oh, you remembered." All that count.
The little
Loving
things.
her
The
and
little
being there for
things.
being her rock. You feel me? Being her rock. You know what I mean? And so that's how a man submits. Like knowing when to say when and knowing when to give in. You feel me?
Okay.
Like reading the situation and said, okay, I'm gonna let her have this, even though, feel me, initially it was no, but nah, I'm gonna go and surprise her with it. That type of submission. Not like there's a certain type of masculinity that's not yali, and it has it's a disconnect. It is no eye to eye. No, it's I'm the boss. Forget what you talking about. That ain't cool. It's I'm the boss, but I'm a good one because I'm with you. I feel you, and I'm giving you what you need.
Okay.
That works, and that's that universal submission, because that causes a woman to want to love you. The mystery between the ecclesia, which they call the church, and the Messiah is the mystery. The marriage is the mystery. The marriage exemplifies the relationship between the Messiah and the ecclesia, the body, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what he did was he saved it and presented it back to himself. And how he saved it, and when it wasn't what it should have been, he loved it into shape. And that comes the scripture, that says it's by the goodness of the Most High that leadeth a man to repentance. He's so good to us, and we've been so wrong, but yet he's consistently there and dependable that we'll conclude, why am I doing this? I'm going to submit. I'm wrong, right? Well, the mystery is the husband is supposed to do that to his wife. Be there for her, love on her, not submit to her in the wrong way. Submit to her completely, 100%.
What's the
but
wrong
not
way?
as a weenie.
Oh, not weenie.
Sucker.
Okay.
I mean, you talk to me. You can't talk to me any kind of way. That ain't gonna happen.
Okay. Okay.
And you're not telling me what to do either. You can ask me what to do, but what I will do is I'll love you into feeling that way, though. In other words, a woman like a solid man. I'm talking about a real one, right? So I'm solid. Ain't no kinks in my armor. You're not finna. It ain't going down like that. But
Okay.
you got to be able to say, oh, that was so thought. Wow, all that got to be coming, right?
But not being phony though,
Accompanied
but
with what a
really
man.
not being phony, but being
No,
interested
I'm watching you.
genuinely. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
I
watching
don't,
you.
I,
I'm
because
watching
I
you.
think like,
I
why
know you
would
don't
a
like
man
salt.
want to, right? Why would a man want to live alone and die alone because they want to show everybody what they have? I feel like, um, I just don't understand that. Do they not know? Were they not taught? Um, Maybe they were hurt, but I see some men that got like out in the Antioch area got like big homes and they in there by themselves. What are they trying to prove? I mean, God wants us to be with someone, correct?
No, you don't
No?
have to be. Not in this little vapor of a life, but it's good. Be fruitful and multiply. But the key is being fruitful is a little difficult nowadays, right?
I know Paul said it
What's
was a
important to
headache.
men? Yeah, more or less. He would rather we be with the Most High than to, because this is short life and a lot is going on. It's kind of rough. But I'll say like men, right? You got brothers. I'm talking about brothers now, more or less, right?
Mm-hmm.
More than less. Believe that. But you got brothers that's into passing business cards, into showing their whip,
Right?
into having that house
Right?
because we've been deprived and robbed and we've been stripped of our authority and our self dignity and worth, right? We got an
You
oppressor that has robbed us, can run in our house and beat up everybody in the house, body slam us, hog tie us, you know what I mean, and take us to jail. Prior to that, y'all saw the movie when the cat walked up, white man walked up to the man, he walked working in the field with his son and his wife, feel me? And white man ran by, just snatched his wife, took her in the house and raped her while he's standing outside. He looked him in the eye when he finished, feel me, and he shot him in the head in front of his son. His son was like, Dad, you just gonna stand there? And got his brains blew out, right? So when you have those type of atrocities happening to a people, and to look at a man that can come and just do you any kind of way, and you can't do nothing about it, when you get a FICA score or a business or anything that's worth having, you want to wear it because you're fighting for
right.
your dignity and your self-worth, right? And then too, the sisters, had to hold it down because her husband and the men is outside in the field or in the barn. She can go in the house, but she got to sleep with this dude. The husband feels some kind of way about her because any one of them can come rape her and do whatever they want anytime they want. That
Mm-hmm.
put a strain on the relationship.
Correct.
Then when you talk about economics, you get freed from slavery, but now look, you got all the money. They got all the money. You broke. You ain't you set free. And then going back, then you got predatory lending, and they built up. And then you got so-called help. So now you need help. The help is you got to get him out of the house in order to get the check from him.
Wow.
You got to
That's
turn
real.
him in, and so
Oh, he gotta hide.
it's so deep of all the trauma and all the drama we had to go through. It's a miracle that we like each other at all. Because now a woman got to look at a man that the white man then championed over and dogged him out. And then a brother got to look at a sister that the white man can have because he the one with the money and the jobs and the position and so we need to be rescued. What's important to me for us
So when
is that
you
we find out that we're the people of the book and we need to repent so that we can be restored. And the only thing gonna help us is supernatural intervention. We need the Most High. If my people, which are called by my name, will humble themselves and pray, seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, he said, I'll hear from heaven, I forget their sins, and I hear their land. And I'm not that Christian dude to the point that that oh, it don't matter. Look at this. When we thought it was the Ashkenazi fake Jew over there in Israel, he
mm-hmm.
was the man. We was ready to send him money. All the churches getting together and support Israel. Then you find out the scriptures spoke of them in Revelation 2 and 9. I know them that say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan, right? We find them out that they're from Khazari, that they even took off the maps. You can't even find it. It's over there in Ukraine, Russia, area, out over there, and they were converted Jews and came up with the Talmud. They're not the real, they're not the Jews, they're Jewish, kind of, sort of, right? They're the synagogue of Satan. So then you find out supposedly like the African American, which are the Negroes, came from Negro land where the slave trade happened, right? You find out that they're the Jews. You do the blood type, you find out the blood come back and puts you in Nigeria. So Africans turned on, not Africans, they turned on the children of Israel, the Hebrews from Jerusalem that was occupying the land, running from the Romans. Back to my point. My point is, you get shipped over here, and you're a last class citizen. You're a last class. We need to find out who we are. We're the only homeless nation on planet Earth.
Wow.
And it's deeper than melanin. Everyone that got the melanin ain't Israel. There was a particular people in a particular geographical area where the slave trade happened. But they tried to make it look like it was all Africa and Africans turned on Africans. No. Everybody over there in that region was dark-skinned. Everybody.
Wow.
Everybody. But they were different people. And Hebrews are different people. And those Negroes from Negro land got shipped over here. When we first got over here, the birth certificate said Negro on it. Now they changed it, messing with Jesse Jackson, the African American. But we were Negroes, which means in Latin, like, black, right? Well, we came from Niger, Nigeria, Niger area, or nigger area, black, pronounced in their tongue, nigger. You get called a nigger. Don't say the N word. That's what the heck I am.
Right.
I'm a Negro. I'm from Negro land. Via from Jerusalem. We're the children of Israel, and we need to know that because we need to be restored. So anyone looking for a spouse, you want one that's woke and know who they are and whose they are.
You want
so
a
we can
spouse
all be healed.
You want a spouse that is woke. Woo, that's hard to find.
Right. So what we do is the awakening is happening right now. As you're being targeted for vaccines right now, because they know who you are, been new. They've been knew who you was. We're just now finding out who we are. And as we find out who we are, well, they got our ID in their pocket. They're claiming to be us. That's a problem. That's a problem for them, which now they're going to make it our problem. So they want to give you a vaccine right quick. They want to help you not get the flu. They want to help you not get a virus. They want to help you.
Thank you for hanging out today. I know I have a lot of questions, Dee. I always do, because when I get off from talking to you, I always go research and try to find out more because I just like knowledge. And I've been woke, but I ain't woke enough. You could be
woke. Keep waking up until he come get us.
Yeah, but I ain't woke enough.
We're going to get woke up. How about that?
Yes.
A little sleep in our eyes a little bit. We get sleep out of our eyes.
I'm seeing it. I'm seeing what's going on and everything. That's why I wanted to ask you about a whole different array of questions, from Adam and Eve all the way down to being submissive. I know for me, I'm a strong woman. Submission is a work in progress when, I've always been on the grind. So that would be something that when you always on the grind, you always thinking like a boss. You always thinking, and it's not to be disrespectful, it's to be that I'm looking straight ahead, trying to get somewhere, and come on, man, So, and that's what happens a lot, for a lot of women. Always had to, he said you can be woke but still sleepy. Hey, Ray. That's what happens a lot for women that don't have everything that we need. I mean, as far as when you have to have two people working together. Women walked into life, having to just be a boss. That's just the way it's always been. So to come and try to be submissive and be like, what? Man, I ain't doing that. Look, I'm doing it like this. This always worked. You need to come over here and see this way. This is the way it worked. Sometimes I know, me personally, I have to try to listen and be like, okay, well what you want to do? But when you say what you want to do, then a woman puts that pressure on you. It better work, you know. And that's just
Real
real.
talk.
You know, you want it to work. So and sometimes things ain't gonna work. And if you can take the downfall together and build it back up, I guess that's a good thing.
That's a
In the
great
back of your
thing.
mind, but in the back of your mind, the woman says, "Now, see, if you would have did it the way I said do it, we wouldn't be in this like right now." So I
True.
know personally to be submissive, woo, that's a hard that's like I had to guy I gotta take submissive 101 because
Hmm.
I just go
A lot
and
of us
keep
do.
going.
A lot of women do up under the circumstances, which is understandable. And I'm not saying it's easy either.
Okay. I mean I mean a lot of relationships end because of that.
True.
The systematic destruction on black males has forced women to become the sole provider. That's real
Truth.
right
Truth,
there.
Mark.
That's
Real
real.
talk.
And I know that I'm not willing to fall. I'm not trying to be stubborn, but I'm not willing to fall on my face. If I'm like, this is the way to do it. I'm telling you, this is the way to do it. But yes, I know women would love to have a man say, this is the way it's gonna work. It works this way. I got it. Don't worry about it. We're gonna be good.
That's
We
what's
would
up.
love to have that said to us all the time. We would love to have someone say, don't worry about it. I got your back. Okay. We would love that. I know that society has done that to and broken down the family unit, but that should make it more of a reason to make it work
Hmm.
instead of running off, you know, and not wanting to work because the going got tough. That should be more of a reason. And um God got the basic instructions on how to do that, but sometimes it's hard to do that in the world.
That wasn't a question. That right? Was that a question?
No, that was a statement. That was a statement. So I thank you for keeping it real with us today. For always answering my questions, you know, because I hate to see people suffer, and I be wanting, and people want to know where is God. I don't think God ever left, but sometimes you want that magic pill that'll make things better.
Straight up, and it don't work like that. But at the end of the day, just in closing, um, you're submissive. You roll with something that you didn't necessarily agree with. It went wrong, but but prayerfully, you'll be able to weigh the spiritual benefit, the unseen benefit of trusting the Most High. Like, let me give you one more little nugget, small one, but listen. Um, History is told from a aspect of natural minus the Most High. But if history be told appropriately, it's really we're seeking for spiritual outcomes, not natural outcomes. Natural outcomes are temporary. Like you could like not be submissive, do it your way, and win the $1 million that you was after, but lose spiritually because you're not submissive. If history is told from a natural standpoint,
Hmm.
then success looks like the natural win and not the spiritual win. When the most important win is the spiritual one, because the natural is temporary and the spiritual is the one that is eternal. So I could be successful as a pimp and a dope dealer, and I went against the grain, but I got the house and the cars to prove it. But my soul is in jeopardy. And so when you look at things from a natural standpoint, you're looking for the natural victory as opposed to the edification of your spiritual life.
Mm.
So I just want to throw that at you. And tests come like that. When he makes you spiritually woke, then the test will come. Are you willing to risk this $1,000,000? If you just grab the bull by the horns, and not submit, you can have this $1,000,000. Or would you rather do what the Most High say and submit? And the Most High so called, after you lose the first million because of your submission, and then on the next go round you submit again, and then you win the 2,000,000. So you doubled your money, and you came out spiritually on top. I just wanted to throw that nugget at you before we go.
That's a nice nugget. Now, if it works like that,
That's how it works.
yeah,
That's how it works.
that's a good one right there. All right, y'all. That's my bro, Minister Man. Thank y'all for chiming in. Everybody, hello to everyone. Thank you for chiming in, because sometimes it ain't all about the music, y'all. I sing and I love music, and I love the music that's raw and in your face music. I'm the same Dee Dee, but I sometimes have moments, well, all the time, where I think, and I think about things, and I write things down, and how I want to change things. How can things happen? And I think, and I think there's always room for growth. So I thank you for hanging out with us today, Minister Man.
Thanks for
Y'all,
having me, Dee Dee. Always a pleasure. You call, I'm coming. Hear me?
bad, yes, 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 yes. So y'all take it easy. If you ain't been submitting, pray about it.
That's a good prayer. That's a
Woo!
good prayer.
Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm a kindergartner in that field. I'm a kindergartner in that field. Uh, Good night, everybody.